Thank you very much for the invitation to be here. It's been very stimulating so far, and I hope I can give you a little more thoughts that will create some juices and get things going. Okay, so how do I do this? Looks like that's it. All right, so in good form, I'm going to tell you about the results, or the main point of what I'm going to say right up front, so if I don't talk quite fast enough, it won't be on the last slide that you have to wait for. ION let me tell you a little bit about ION first, though. We were founded actually in 2008, back in the dark ages, with the sole purpose of trying to develop a great solvent-based carbon capture technology. We did that with a lot of support from DOE, and we've just now finished the first phase of a big FEED study for a 300 megawatt retrofit carbon capture facility at an existing power plant in Nebraska. And as I said, so let me go back. The results of that study have been completed, and it's yielded a cost per ton of between $36 and $32 a ton. So these are very interesting numbers, we think very encouraging, and I'll tell you a little bit more about how we get there. The other major finding is that we've now expanded that into a 700 megawatt capture study because we've decided to capture all of the CO2. I should say we and our partners. Most of this work has been funded by cooperative funding agreements with DOE. We've received money on the first FEED study, and now we've got money on the second one. The next slide shows our partners. Okay, I'll get it right. Obviously funding from National Technology Laboratory and their carbon capture program. Nebraska Public Power is the host site. Sergeant Lundy has done most of the engineering, including the balance of plant. This is a fully integrated into the steam and electric cycle. There is not a cogen unit. It's something that we are considering, but that's not the direction we took. Koch Modular Systems and its sister company, Koch Glitch, have helped us with the process engineering, and Siemens, we've been using them, and they've provided assistance with their two-stage compression system. This study is a class 3 study with minus 20 plus 30 accuracy, and the next slide shows. Actually, I know it looks kind of vanilla, but we're very proud of this. It's an actual 3D render of the facility that we've designed and cost. This is representative of tens of thousands of hours of engineering and technical support. And on this slide, I have the capital cost, which is $440 million, and with the total OPEX of $28 million a year for a total annualized cost of about $70 million. And that gives us a cost per ton, a yield of about 1.9 million tons of CO2 a year, and cost per ton of $36 or $37. I want to talk about that just a little bit on the next slide. And I borrowed the Institute's slide here. I want to point out that I've put it on a log scale, and I've taken some of our competitors off because I'm really not that familiar with their data, and I wanted to talk about ours. So I would say, so in these numbers, here's $40 a ton, here's DOE's goal of $30 a ton, which you think is very attainable. The first one is a TEA, which is the techno-economic evaluation that we're required to do by DOE. But I remind everyone that this is actually a new build under the TEA. So it really is sort of apples to oranges at best to what we did in our FEED study, although the numbers have come out to be pretty similar. And this is the latest revision. This is the latest revision of the TEA. This is what the FEED study told us if we used a 7% interest rate. But actually, if we talk to our host site, their interest rate is much closer to, that they would actually pay is much closer to 4% or 4.5%. And that points out the impact that really the financing can have on on these costs rather than the actual technology itself. Now, I want to be very clear. This is very site-specific in terms of the results. It won't be that price for very many other units. We do think the price, we can get down the price under $30 a ton, but that'll take some more work. The next slide really just shows you, and I'm sure many of you are very familiar and have your own slides that look like this, but really here we talk about the stages of engineering that we must go through in order to build a plant, but in order to qualify under the current 45Q deadline. And when you look at this, if this is where we are now, I think important to remember is that by the end of the FEED study, we really need to be obtaining or have the data necessary to support a final fixed price so that a final investment decision can be made, so that all of the capital needed to do the engineering, procurement, and construction can be raised. And that has to happen, actually, before we ever start to get 45Q tax credits. So it's a long way of saying that the financial engineering is almost as significant as the engineering in trying to can take one of these projects to commercial operations. So, as I said, sort of results of C3C1, which is Commercial Carbon Capture Design and Costing Study, $32 to $36 a ton. It's progressed now to a 700 megawatt study, which we expect will complete, as I said, out here in 2021. And we are continuing to develop additional leads for additional projects that we want to get under the timeline. Hi, Jeff. I didn't see you. Thank you very much.